Australia has its fair share of haunted places. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, a good ghost story is always entertaining. In this video, we take a look at 5 haunted places in Australia. Australia's most haunted homestead sits in Dune, New South Wales, and has had a series of tragic events unfold throughout its history, earning the title of Australia's most haunted house. The property was built in 1885, and in its time of existence it's had a pregnant caretaker pushed over a balcony, a baby thrown down the stairs and a stable boy burned while he slept. Olive Ryan and her late husband purchased the Victorian manor in 1963, and believe it's still haunted by the previous owners, Christopher and Elizabeth Crawley, who died between 1910 and 1933. Guests often report seeing strange lights, feeling strange presences, and many who choose to stay overnight report seeing former lady of the house, Mrs. Crawley. After purchasing the abandoned and vandalised property on June 3, 1963, Reg and Olive moved their children into the rundown house. The conditions at first were terrible. There was no running water or electricity, and most of the doors and windows were missing. Reg believes he had a connection with the house and its ghostly residents. He often recalled how when he first set eyes on the abandoned house that he felt he was somehow being called back to it again. This was a calling he could not resist, and he knew at the time that he would someday own the property. Not long after the couple moved into the property, they returned one night to find bright lights streaming out of every doorway and window, despite the fact they had not yet had the electricity connected, and owned just one lamp. It's said the ghosts of the house do like the current owners, and have never caused them distress or harm over the years. The Old Melbourne Jail is a museum in Melbourne, Australia. It consists of a bluestone building and a courtyard. It was first constructed in 1839, and during its operation as a prison between 1842 and 1929, it held and executed some of Australia's most notorious criminals. The museum is considered to be haunted by paranormal enthusiasts. Many have claimed that unexplained voices can be heard, and electrical interference has been picked up which could be proof of paranormal activity. Theories suggest that the voice of a woman claimed to have been heard might belong to Elizabeth Scott, the first woman hung at the jail. The Devil's Pool is a natural pool at the confluence of 3 streams among a group of boulders near Babinda, Queensland, Australia. 17 young people have lost their lives in the waters of Devil's Pool. Of these 17 deaths, all but one have been young men. While reckless behaviour and treacherous currents may account for a number of drownings in one location, the high number of deaths of young males in one swimming hole seems rather extraordinary, especially when you consider not all the victims were actually swimming in the water at the time of their deaths. In one instance, a young couple stood together on a rock platform admiring the view, when according to one witness, without warning the water suddenly rose, sweeping both into the water. While the girl was lucky to survive, unfortunately her male companion did not. Reports of death at Devil's Pool go back long before 1959. The National Film and Sound Archive at Canberra is considered as one of Australia's most haunted buildings. Until 1984, this building was the Australian Institute of Anatomy and had contained human skeletons, animal specimens and artefacts. While being the site of scientific experiments, this history of death and mutilation has given it a supernatural recognition. One creator claims to have been pinned against a wall by an unseen force, while others report the downstairs corridor once used to house hundreds of human skulls is a hotspot for paranormal activity. Staff have also heard noises coming from the recording booths, and they would see things flying around. The present-day Princess Theatre was constructed in 1886, replacing an earlier theatre that dated back to 1854. Highly valued as Melbourne's oldest theatre, the front of the building is beautifully designed with a lavish interior fitted during renovations undertaken in 1922. However, the theatre's most distinctive feature is the purpose-built sliding roof, which opens to the sky and provides ventilation to the theatre below. The Princess Theatre has hosted a number of well-known performers and stage shows, including the Phantom of the Opera, but this theatre is also home to a phantom of a different kind, one who's chosen to stay on long after his final act. On the night of March 3, 1888, the famous singer Frederick Baker fell victim to an unfortunate turn of events. Baker had to descend through a trapdoor on the stage while portraying his character's plunge into hell. However, during this descent, Baker suffered a massive heart attack and vanished beneath the stage. Unbeknown to the audience, Baker was rushed into the theatre boardroom in the hope that he would be stabilised. Unfortunately, there was little anyone could do, and Baker died shortly after. From this moment on, Frederick Baker's ghost took up residence within the theatre. Many present and former staff of the Princess Theatre talk of their own personal hair-raising experiences with the ghost of Frederick Baker. The most common ghostly occurrences within the theatre range from unexplained balls of fluorescent light that hover above the stage and dress circle, mysterious noises within the wings and corridors, and an ever-growing list of bizarre accidents and equipment malfunctions during performances. Many performers who have undertaken shows at the theatre even claim that Baker's ghost has passed them within the halls of the building. However, a great many performers and regular visitors to the theatre have witnessed the apparition of Baker in all his glory. So that was 5 haunted places in Australia. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more countdown videos.